Devastating love story of a Bahraini princess who elopes with U.S. Marine. Where is she now? Want to hear a real-life love story? Once upon a time, a couple set out to defy all odds and give their incredible love story a fighting chance. An American soldier from a very humble background fell in love with modern royalty, a Bahraini princess, and he was determined to cement their bond in marriage. So he took her from her royal home. Her uncle, the king, tried every weapon in his arsenal to derail their love, but he failed. Yet the question remains, did their love stand the test of time? There's only one way to find out. Keep watching this video as we dive right into their remarkable journey. Meriam bint Abdullah Al Khalifa, a vibrant and curious spirit, is a member of the prestigious Bahraini royal house of Al Khalifa. As one of the 5 daughters of Sheikh Abdullah bin Ibrahim Al Khalifa, a distant cousin of Bahrain's ruler, Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, her path in life seemed predetermined, just like any member of a royal family. Royal norms dictated a carefully planned path for the Sheikha as she matured, and she wasn't expected to deviate from that path. Until she did. The princess was to receive a traditional Islamic education, marry a man of suitable social standing chosen by her father, become a mother, and raise children. This was supposed to be Meriam's fate, set in stone, with no room for objection or deviation. But beneath the surface, she yearned for something more, a love that defied tradition and broke boundaries, just like what we see in the movies. Little did she know that her secret wishes were on the verge of unfolding in the most astonishing way. Destiny began to unfold for Meriam in 1999, the year she turned 18, and a significant milestone in her life. It was a year filled with promise and change, marking her transition from adolescence to adulthood. At the same time, far across the world in California, a group of U.S. Marines received orders to report to a distant and unfamiliar land, a small island kingdom nestled off the coast of Saudi Arabia, which happened to be Meriam's homeland. Among these Marines was Lance Corporal Jason Johnson, a 23-year-old soldier with a heart full of dreams and a steadfast sense of duty. Jason, a Christian and a Mormon, hailed from a humble background and had a pretty different upbringing from the Bahraini princess. His father was a truck driver in Chicago, a common man who instilled in Jason the values of hard work and integrity. The cultural and religious chasm between Jason and the Bahraini royal family was vast, making the prospect of a romantic relationship between him and Meriam seem very unlikely, if not impossible. Yet, it was precisely this divergence that set the stage for an enthralling and dramatic love story. Jason spent the majority of his time stationed at the military base in Bahrain's capital city. However, he occasionally went out to explore the bustling metropolis, soaking in the vibrant culture and atmosphere. It was during one of these excursions that fate intervened. While shopping at a local supermarket, Jason's path crossed with that of a young woman, whose beauty left him breathless. In that instant, Jason felt an unnatural connection, a certainty that his future was tangled with hers. The young woman was none other than Meriam, the princess whose heart secretly yearned for love that went beyond the norms. When their eyes met, it was as if the universe itself had conspired to bring them together. This moment marked the beginning of a profound and dynamic relationship, one that would soon charm the hearts of many and become a sensational topic in the media, a love story like the movies. It was love at first sight, the kind of love that ignites quickly and burns brightly, setting the stage for a journey filled with passion, obstacles, and unwavering determination. Without wasting another moment, the lovebirds embarked on their journey together, diving headfirst into a whirlwind romance. Their dates, though few and far between due to the complexities of their situation, were filled with intensity and passion, creating memories that made up for their limited time together. Despite the enchanting nature of their budding love, they were forced to keep it a secret. Meriam couldn't tell anyone, including her sisters, let alone her strict father or the king, for obvious reasons. However, their secret love affair couldn't stay hidden for long. One of the princess's vigilant bodyguards stumbled upon their hidden relationship and promptly reported it to her mother. Before they knew it, the gossip had spread throughout the royal household, and her father made the inevitable decision. Meriam was sternly forbidden from continuing her relationship with the soldier. As disheartening as this decree was, it did little to discourage the determined couple. Meriam's affection for Jason only deepened, causing them to devise ingenious methods to sustain their love. They exchanged loving messages and letters with the assistance of a trusted confidant. Despite the necessity for hushed conversations and discreet phone calls, they spared no effort in maintaining their connection. Everything seemed blissful until Jason's time of service in Bahrain neared its end. It became clear that the couple had to decide on the next steps for their relationship if they wanted to remain together. As a result, Meriam made the bold decision to inform her father of her love affair. She requested to defy the norms of the Bahraini kingdom and marry the man of her dreams. As expected, this was a grave mistake. Sheikh Abdullah didn't take Meriam's outright disregard for his earlier instructions lightly. Instead, she was placed on house arrest, forbidden to leave the palace until Jason had left Bahrain. Guards were stationed everywhere to monitor her every move, and their love story faced its most difficult problem yet: eloping against all odds. Sheikh Abdullah's orders meant one of two things for the lovers. Either they forgot about the relationship and cherished the time they had together, or they found a way to leave Bahrain under the noses of heavy security. As you would expect, the resilient duo chose the latter. Jason made a notable observation at the airport. He found out that while boarding passengers in Manama Airport, only civilians had their documents checked. Military personnel were allowed to board without inspection. This presented the corporal with the perfect plan to elope with the princess. With the help of his friends, he obtained an extra set of U.S. Marine uniforms and a fake ID for Meriam. On the day of his departure, a luxurious limousine pulled up at the palace. Meriam had told her parents she rented the car to go shopping in the city, and she was granted permission to leave the house. Your guess is as good as mine. She had no intention of shopping. Inside the car, she changed into a military uniform, hiding her long hair under the cap. Surprisingly, this daring plan was successful, and she boarded the plane with Corporal Johnson, heading to Chicago. Both lovers were long gone before the Bahraini security noticed the princess's disappearance and alerted the king and her family. The ruler tried everything in his power to get the U.S. government to turn the plane around, but his requests fell on deaf ears. This, however, did not mean ease for the princess and the corporal, as security officials awaited their arrival at Chicago Airport. Upon arrival, U.S. immigration officials immediately took Meriam into custody, where she was held for 3 days and charged with illegal entry. Eventually, she was granted political asylum due to concerns about the possibility of honor-related violence if she returned to Bahrain. A few weeks after arriving in the United States and days after meeting Jason's family, Jason and Meriam got married on November 19, 1999. After a series of legal battles, Meriam was granted U.S. citizenship, allowing her to fully enjoy her new family. The couple initially lived in base housing on Camp Pendleton. However, life wasn't a bed of roses for Jason either. The Marines were understandably upset with him, and soon after his return to the United States, he was court-martialed and eventually left the corps. The couple then settled down in Las Vegas to start their new life together. Weeks later, Meriam's family sent her a letter forgiving her for eloping. However, this letter made no mention of Jason, which made him very skeptical. His skepticism was confirmed when an FBI report revealed that a man had been intercepted claiming he was paid $500,000 to assassinate Meriam. Despite this, Meriam's father assured her in the letter that if she wanted to live in America, she was welcome to return home without any form of punishment or blame. Their extraordinary tale captivated the public and dominated headlines. They graced the pages of numerous magazines and were featured in a high-profile photo shoot by renowned photographer Patrick de Marchelier for Harper's Bazaar's October issue. Their captivating story also reached millions through appearances on popular TV talk shows, like The Oprah Winfrey Show. By 2001, their fame soared to new heights when Columbia TriStar acquired the rights to their story for a substantial sum of $500,000. This led to the release of the movie The Princess and the Marine in February of the same year, which garnered significant attention and earned Marisol Nichols a nomination for Outstanding Actress at the Alma Awards for her portrayal. Unfortunately, the beautiful Romeo and Juliet sequel was bound to end in a rather tragic plot twist. Princess Meriam found herself drawn to the vibrant and enticing lifestyle of Las Vegas, where she quickly settled in and became fond of extravagant parties and lavish spending, often prioritizing this over time with her husband. As their earnings from selling their story for the movie dwindled, the pseudo-royal family faced looming financial hardships. To make ends meet, Jason humbly took on a job as a valet, catering to wealthy nightclub guests. As the year approached its midpoint, just a few months following the release of their movie, their story took a further downturn. Meriam decided to humorously accept her father's benevolent offer and return to Bahrain. Whether her decision was influenced by financial pressures or not remains unclear, but one thing is certain. Their once promising romance came to an abrupt end. 3 years after celebrating their wedding anniversary, legal documents were served, officially marking the end of their union. Jason often spoke of his deep love for Meriam, describing her as the center of his world. He cherished every moment they shared together. Despite his devotion, their marriage eventually faced insurmountable challenges. After Meriam returned to Bahrain, her father, Sheikh Abdullah, arranged for her to marry a man he deemed suitable, a decision based on traditional values and family honor. Meanwhile, Jason found himself at a crossroads. He pondered his future and decided to invest the remaining money from their movie deal into college tuition. He worked hard to build a new life for himself. In 2011, he met another woman who was very different from Meriam. They fell in love and got married, starting afresh together. For many years, little was heard about Meriam's life. However, she resurfaced in the media years later due to her involvement in a political assignment. Her story continued to intrigue and inspire, showing the enduring impact of her bold choices and the complex nature of love. Their story, which captured the attention of the media and inspired a movie, continues to show us the power of love against all odds. It makes us think about the sacrifices people make for love and the realities they face. While their story didn't have a typical happy ending, it remains a powerful example of courage, passion, and the pursuit of happiness. As we reflect on Meriam and Jason's journey, we're reminded that love is a complex and universal experience. It can bring joy and sorrow in equal measure. Yet, it's this complexity that makes love so compelling. The tale of the Bahraini princess and the American Marine shows us how love can break boundaries, challenge norms, and leave a lasting impact on those who embrace it. Tell us what you think of the couple in the comment section.